Jeremy Corbyn took part in the regular Monday night meeting of the Parliamentary Labour Party last night, his first since being re-elected as leader. MPs had a chance to raise concerns ranging from the recent reshuffle to the party's dismal poll ratings. The Labour leader was also asked why he attended an anti-racism rally over the weekend, which critics say was closely linked with the Socialist Workers Party. So what is the SWP? It was founded as the Socialist Review Group in 1950. The party describes itself as a revolutionary socialist group. They've been involved in various campaigns over the years. For example, former leading members of the SWP helped to set up the Stop the War coalition to campaign against the invasion of Iraq in 2003. But in 2013, the SWP was mired in controversy because it was claimed that they had mishandled sexual assault allegations against an individual who was, at the time, one of their members. Well, we did invite the SWP onto the programme, but they declined. They also told us that Stand Up to Racism is not a front organisation for the SWP. So we are joined by Steve Hart, the Vice Chair of Stand Up to Racism, and by the Labour supporting author and journalist James Bloodworth. Welcome to both of you. Steve Hart, you helped organise this event on Saturday. What was it all about, and were socialist workers involved?
Well, first of all, I'm Labour supporting. I'm the chair of the biggest constituency Labour Party in the country. It was an event about confronting anti-Semitism, Islamophobia and racism. It's particularly focusing around issues of refugees and indeed the racist atmosphere that has begun to develop in some places after Brexit.
Right.
It brought together 1,400 people.
Sure. And the SWP, Socialist Workers Party's involvement is what?
They were involved, as they have been involved in many things fighting fascism over the years. Right.
Are they a dominant force in Stand Up to Racism? I mean, certainly one of their leading figures is co-convener, I understand, of the SUTR.
That's right. They're not a dominant force. No, they're a participant in Stand Up to Racism, along with many, many others. So, for example, Alf Dubs was one of the speakers on Saturday.
And he's campaigned, obviously, for child refugees to be taken in.
Edie Friedman of the Jewish Council for Racial Equality has been a participant all the way through. The Muslim Council of Britain has been involved for a long time as well.
So what was the problem with Jeremy Corbyn attending this rally?
Well, I think the problem is, I mean, I would call them a front group in the same way that I'd call Uniting Against Fascism, Stop the War front groups for far-left groups. So the Socialist Workers Party is not a very Trotskyism isn't particularly popular, so what happens is they form these front groups around issues which are more popular: anti-racism, anti-poverty, anti-war, and then they use that to try and recruit members to their party. And in the case of the Socialist Workers Party, it's an organisation which many of us believe isn't safe for women, because there was this scandal around 2013. And we objected to the leader of the Labour Party giving it kind of making this organisation credible, where you have someone like Wayman Bennett, who is a member of the Socialist Workers Party, who is at the kind of top of this organisation.
Right. Do you accept that criticism, that actually associating yourself with this organisation, and the Labour MP, Jess Phillips, certainly said that there shouldn't be any connection between what you're trying to do in Stand Up to Racism and the Socialist Workers Party because of the way they mishandled these sexual assault allegations?
Well, of course, I think Jess Phillips is fantastic in the work she does around violence against women. I support everything she does. Jess Phillips also spoke at one of our rallies in April 2015. She obviously didn't, at that point, see that as an issue. The SWP, as you've said, had serious issues around this. But then so did the BBC, so did the Catholic Church. I'm here today, I'm not boycotting the BBC.
So the police have investigated those allegations, whereas the problem with the SWP is they persuaded women who were victims of sexual assault not to go to the police.
Right.
I mean, that's the problem.
And there are groups who actually called on their members to boycott the rally: East End Sisters Uncut, Brighton Solidarity Freedom, Black Lives Matter UK. And there is quite an extensive list of people. Are they all wrong?
I saw a call for boycotting last Tuesday. 1,500 people from up and down the country, from groups supporting refugees in Calais and other groups, had already signed up for this. They're people who want to come, who are well aware of the situation. Now, for me, what really matters is let's try and find what unites us. I think we should be doing more. The government made some moves yesterday, but we really need to get the children from Calais.
Sure.
Tonight, I'm going to a vigil in Tottenham because a woman had her hijab torn off her, and a lot of people are coming together. It's Stand Up to Racism that's organising that.
But
I think that's good. I think people uniting against racism is a really good thing. That's my politics. That's where I'd be.
The Socialist Workers Party aren't serious on the issue of anti-Semitism, for example. So this is an organisation which believes in the abolition of the State of Israel. I mean, that's for most people, I think that's an anti-Semitic place to start from. I don't think they should be involved in an anti-racism campaign. If you're not serious about anti-Semitism, you can't be serious about racism across the board.
Well, I'm the Vice Chair, and I'm extremely serious about anti-Semitism, and I'm extremely regard it as extremely important that our organisation, which is Stand Up to Racism,
So how do you feel about the Socialist Workers Party who don't?
Well, every time
in James Bloodworth's
every
view.
time they have spoken about this matter in our organisation, have been very, very clear. Anti-Semitism is a problem. They, along with others, with us, campaigned around some issues of anti-Semitism.
Do you think,
quite
though,
recently.
you're diminishing the value of your protests in terms of anti-racism, in terms of campaigning on behalf of child refugees by association with the Socialist Workers' Party when you come up against criticism from people like James Bloodworth and Jess Phillips?
Well, my instinct in politics always, and I'm not somebody from the far left by any means. I'm in the Labour Party. I actually voted for Owen Smith. I want to bring people together. And where there are issues around racism, I want to bring everybody together. I'd like to see Saida Varsi, who's been taking some progressive stands. We've had Tim Farron speaking at our meetings.
Right.
I'd like to see faith leaders of all kinds who do speak at meetings. That's important.
I'd say I have huge respect for some of the work Steve does. I have huge respect for the anti-racism campaigns. But I would say that they're being used by groups by the SWP to recruit to their party. Similar with Stop the War. The current chair of the Stop the War is a supporter of the regime in North Korea. I mean, this is something that mainstream politicians, of left or right, should really be trying to distance themselves from.
And you don't want to see Jeremy Corbyn then attending rallies like this?
No, I mean, absolutely not, because it lends credibility to these movements which should have none.
Thank you.